Sunday marked 1 year since the Tree of Life Synagogue shooting in Squirrel Hill. How school students did their part in spreading a message of love and acceptance.
And a new update from the Antoine Rose case that dates back to June of last year.
And the Center for Media Innovation held a speaking event to celebrate people of all abilities. All that and more. Point News starts now.
Live from the Point Park University Broadcast Center in downtown Pittsburgh, this is Point News.
Good afternoon, I'm Monet Finley.
And I'm Kimberly kTeaa. As Sunday marked the 1-year anniversary of the Tree of Life Synagogue shooting. The Pittsburgh community comes together in a time of remembrance. Our reporter Umaka Ease has the story.
October 27, 2018, a gunman shot and attacked the Tree of Life Synagogue in Squirrel Hill, Pittsburgh. 1 year later, we remember and honor those who lost their lives in the incident. 1 year after the shooting at the Tree of Life in Squirrel Hill, Pittsburgh, people still come to the synagogue to honor and pay respect to those who lost their lives.
Sure, it was more about honoring the people whose lives touched all of us. So many of those people who were either killed or wounded, or people who were friends of mine. My thoughts, even today as I passed by here, were of them.
To honor those who lost their lives in the shooting, Point Park University sets up a 3-day memorial here on campus. The memorial service that was organized by Pastor Jennifer McCurry will start on the 28th of October till the 30th of October 2019 at the Lawrence Hall building.
We chose to have a display so that people could come with whatever they were carrying with them on the inside. The 11 people who died and their families and close friends. And the memorial has pictures of those folks and their names that they would be remembered. There is the Jewish community here in Pittsburgh, which is quite close-knit, and many folks who attend one synagogue know well others in a different one.
Jennifer McCurry advised students to take out time to visit the memorial, not just to honor those who have departed, but to reflect on their lives in hope for a better tomorrow. Umaka Ease for Point News.
The children of Pittsburgh also came together to help spread the message of love and acceptance outside of the Tree of Life Synagogue. Nick Tamarla has the story.
Sunday, October 27th marked 1 year since 11 people lost their lives at the Tree of Life Synagogue, and the city of Pittsburgh is honoring those lives lost and people affected by the attack. Community members gathered outside of Tree of Life to pay respect, leaving behind flowers, notes, and drawings. Students here in Pittsburgh and around the country created artwork as part of a beautification project to bring light back to the corner of Wilkins and Shady Avenue.
Asking kids throughout the world, initially elementary school children, ultimately high school children, to provide drawings of what they thought, what the event meant to them, and what message they wanted to provide to the community.
Over 200 pieces were submitted, and just 101 of them were chosen to appear on the windscreen.
This is an incredibly beautiful tribute, and you should take a walk along and look at all these pictures.
200 community members from around the city of Pittsburgh have volunteered here at Hillel Academy to write reply letters to those who reached out a year ago this Sunday.
I get to help people, and whenever they're done, I get to put it in the bin. Somebody wrote thank you in tons of languages. We're also inviting people to help us so they can help other people too.
The building has not reopened since that fateful day, but the congregations plan to rebuild, saying in a statement that they will return in a demonstration of faith and pledge to fight anti-Semitism and discrimination. Reporting from outside of the Tree of Life Synagogue in Squirrel Hill, I'm Nick Tomarello for Point News.
Our student organization held a Tree of Life memorial in Village Park. from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. The memorial included a variety of homemade Israeli food, authentic Israeli music, and student speakers. Organizer Bree Haley thinks keeping the conversation going is the most important part.
That people remember what happened and remember that this was a hate crime and happened at the hands of anti-Semitism. And I think it's important to bring it to campus because there are freshmen here this year that weren't here when it happened. And I think it's important to remind them of the people that we lost, and that if we all come together, especially on campus, we can create a safe community for Jewish students as well as all of our students.
Haley says that she wants to see students keep the names of the victims of the Tree of Life synagogue shooting relevant so that no one ever forgets the hate crime of October 27, 2018. Election day is this Tuesday, and if you're headed to the polls, you'll likely face some tough questions on the ballot. One of those questions is a proposal to raise taxes to fund neighborhood green spaces in Pittsburgh. Another big race is for Allegheny County District Attorney, with incumbent Stephen Zappella facing off against independent Lisa Middleman. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
A settlement reached in a civil case involving the shooting death of Antoine Rose in East Pittsburgh. Police officer Michael Rosfeld shot and killed Rose as a teenager ran from a vehicle in June 2018. Rosfeld was initially charged with criminal homicide, but was later acquitted. Court documents show the settlement was reached between Rose's estate and Rosfeld, as well as the other defendant, the borough of East Pittsburgh, for which Rosfeld worked. Pittsburgh police took part on the Drug Enforcement Administration's National Drug Take-Back Day on October 26th. This event, the second of the year, offered the public the chance to get rid of expired or unused medication. On Drug Take-Back Day, after the medication is collected, it is given to the police so the medicine can be destroyed. The drugs were collected in 3 separate locations. The event was made anonymous, with no questions asked and no forms of identification requested. If you missed the date and have some prescription drugs to dispose of, there are boxes for prescription disposal located at Giant Eagle locations in Washington, Altoona, and the Shadyside Market District.
President Donald Trump has confirmed the death of one of the world's most notorious terror group leaders. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the founder and leader of ISIS, was killed Sunday as a result of a raid executed by U.S. Special Forces in Syria. 6 enemy fighters were also killed during the raid. And on Monday, a massive sinkhole swallowing the back half of a Port Authority bus and nearly a car on 10th Street between Penn and Liberty Avenue downtown. The Port Authority bus was removed late Monday night. Traffic continues to be impacted around the area, with a small portion of the Penn Avenue bike lane being closed, forcing cyclists to use the traffic lane. Businesses in the area are to expect intermittent outages of water and utility services as the work is expected to take place over the next 6 to 8 weeks to repair.
Celebrating people of all abilities.
A speaking event on campus spread the word of disability activism in the workforce. We have the story after the break.
Go to our new website, uview.pointpark.edu.
Go, 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 go.
Join UView and find your herd.
Join EOP. And 3, 2, 1. Join EOP.
I was just saying, grab them now, or else I will snap.
Yeah.
Join On Point with Politics.
3, 2, 1.
Join Pioneer Sideline.
Loneliest number that you'll ever do.
The Center for Media Innovation held a disability symposium last week to celebrate students and professionals of all abilities. Our reporter Royce Jones was there.
According to the CDC, nearly 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. are living with a disability. That's roughly 61 million Americans. And today, an event inside the Center for Media Innovation is giving some of these people with disabilities a platform to share how they face adversity every day.
If you saw footage a couple summers ago of a protester getting shoved out of their wheelchair by police, that was me.
37-year-old Elisa Grishman is a local disabilities activist.
Yeah, the work that I've done in my life, the most important work has been towards bettering the lives of others. And I never in a million years would have thought to do that if this weren't a part of my life to begin with.
That part of her life is MS. She was diagnosed the summer before her sophomore year of college. She was just 19.
And the entire left side of my body just stopped working one day.
It's a similar story some of the people in this crowd know all too well. Last week, the Underbridge Press hosted a disability symposium. It featured guest speakers with different physical and intellectual disabilities, some of them just college age, like Elisa was when she was diagnosed.
There was somebody a student who shared about her narcolepsy and what that looks like. There are different elements to it, the vivid dreams she had. And
when audience members hear these stories, organizer Jennifer Sveta Jordan hopes they take home a better sense of awareness.
Whenever I've broken a leg, I do notice that everybody else is using the disabled bathroom.
There's always someone kind of looking out of the corner of their eye at, 20-year-old with a cane or 20-year-old sitting at the front of the bus.
Disabilities advocates say you might not be as far away from the disabilities world as you might think. They say something as simple as sending a text message can bring you closer and closer to their world.
Texting was originally designed for people who are deaf and hard of hearing to communicate, and then it was just assimilated into our cell phones for everyone to use.
The Disability Symposium was live streamed online, and you can find it on the CMI's Facebook page. Reporting downtown for Point News, I'm Royce Jones.
Pittsburgh Pride Fest is on the move. The Delta Foundation has announced next summer's event will be held in Point State Park. It will be held the weekend of July 18th and 19th. The event will include local and regional entertainment on multiple stages, a children's activity area, and more.
The Steelers pulled out a big win over the Miami Dolphins, but the 27-14 victory came at a cost. Running back James Conner is being evaluated for a shoulder injury, and Raymond Foster is now in concussion protocol. The Steelers have a short break as they face off against the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday.
College athletes in the NCAA can now get paid. According to ESPN, the NCAA's top decision makers voted unanimously to allow athletes to receive payment for the use of their name, image, or likeness in brand deals and other forms of advertisement. The board said in a statement that they want to ensure the rules that do exist in regards to the new changes are, quote, transparent, focused, and enforceable. They said that they want the new changes to be perfected and implemented starting in January of 2021. The World Series wrapped up last night in Houston at Minute Maid Park. The Washington Nationals won their first World Series in franchise history with a 6-2 victory over the Astros in Game 7 after climbing back from a 3-2 deficit. MVP Steven Strasburg tallied 2 wins in the World Series with 14 1/3 combined innings pitched, 4 allowed runs, and 14 strikeouts. He also became the first pitcher to go 5-0 in a postseason run in the history of the league. Strasburg summed up the World Series run in just one word: surreal. A Pittsburgh celebrity's home is being renovated,
while the community can look forward to in the restoration of the August Wilson House coming up next.
What's one word to describe CAB?
Welcoming.
Community.
Creative.
Experiences.
Family. Openness.
Pineapple.
The Campus Activities Board is a student-run organization that consists of 7 different committees. Each focuses on event planning, marketing, and administrative activities. Join us in organizing the juiciest events on campus, from late-night bingo to festive dances to our team bonding meetings. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Point Park Cap or like us on Facebook at Campus Activities Board at Point Park University.
Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Josh Troop alongside Jess Paterchak.
Defending his decision to kick out 15 Cuban diplomats from the United States.
Thanks, Allison. Fitness on Demand has returned to Point Park.
Residents fear that Mount Agung will have a repeat of 1963's eruption.
Two-star NFL quarterbacks made the headlines this week after wrapping up.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. That's your news tonight. For Nick Tomarello, I'm Alex Grubbs. Have a great night.
The August Wilson House was awarded a grant in restoring and rejuvenating the Hills District art scene. Kira Fry has the story.
Duquesne University received a $500,000 federal grant to help restore the childhood home of famous American playwright August Wilson right behind me in Pittsburgh's Hill District. The August Wilson House website says the recreation of these two rooms that Wilson's family lived in will be at the heart of the project. Other rooms in the house will be transformed into art studios, a gallery, and more.
August said in his latter life, he said, when I die, you'll probably do something with that house. But if you do, he said, I don't want it to be a museum. I want it to be something useful. Our vision for the house is that it is an art center for the Hill District.
The August Wilson House Restoration Project is one of 41 projects across 23 states that is being supported by the Save America's Treasures grants. A City of Pittsburgh press release says that the university will accept and administer the funds on behalf of the August Wilson House as a community partner.
Well, the legacy of August Wilson alone is very important to Pittsburgh and to the region and to the United States. He's one of the country's most celebrated authors. In addition, the Hill District, where August Wilson House is located, is a neighborhood directly adjacent to our campus and one in which we've been involved for a long time.
According to the website, part of the mission of the August Wilson House is to nurture the Hill District that August Wilson grew up in and wrote about.
We think ultimately this house, with what's going on in it, will help to kind of regenerate the neighborhood.
The August Wilson House project organizers plan to have the restoration of the August Wilson House completed by April 27, 2021 for August Wilson's birthday. Reporting from Pittsburgh's Hill District, I'm Kiara Fry for Point News.
A local bike race dating back 3 decades has continued to inspire people to face their challenges. Nardos Halley has the story.
Over hundreds of cyclists will participate in Pittsburgh's Dirty Dozen, an annual hill climbing bike race climbing through Pittsburgh's steepest hills.
36 years ago, professional Pittsburgh cyclist Danny Chu co-founded the Dirty Dozen.
I started the Dirty Dozen along with my brother Tom Chu and our friend Bob Gottlieb, those two are both riding today. Back in 1983, we wanted to showcase Pittsburgh's toughest and steepest hills in about a 50-mile bicycle ride that never really went more than 10 kilometers away from the center of the city.
Cyclists will face some difficulties at this 13-hill course. Some hills are steeper, longer, and more slippery than others. Riders like Angie Johnson, a Minnesota native, came to Pittsburgh's Dirty Dozen for a purpose.
My reason for riding today is to fundraise and advocate for MS. My dad passed away 7 years ago from MS. My theme this year is pedaling with purpose, so when I decided to do this and not knowing if I could climb all the hills, I decided to dedicate each hill to somebody affected by MS. So I have my list of people here on my top tube that when the climbing gets hard, I'll think of them and keep pedaling. So.
Canton Avenue is the steepest hill on the course and the entire United States. It's the 9th out of 13th hills on the Dirty Dozen course.
Canton Avenue has a maximum gradient of 37%, meaning for every 100 feet taken, there is a 37-foot elevation increase.
These hills all average about a 25% grade. Canton Avenue, the steepest hill in the world, is 37% in cobblestone. People like a challenge in their life. And these hills pose a real challenge.
Danny Chu started this race 30 years ago, and its legacy will annually inspire riders to face their biggest challenges. I'm Nardos Haile for Point News.
Well, today is Halloween, so Monet, what are you doing for your Halloween plans this afternoon?
I'm not sure. I just might binge eat all the candies I can eat, you know? Just enjoy that.
What's your favorite type of chocolate bar?
KitKat. Have to say KitKat.
I would agree. That is a great thing. Well, that's all we have for this week. Thank you for watching.
Point News will be back next Thursday at 2 p.m. Have a great week, Pioneers.